Kansai Kollective. West side of Japan, we out here coolin', Zane and Nasa got connections. We know you got questions. Ain't no need to worry.
Clap, clap. Tapping in. Good morning. Hello. Thank you again for tuning in to the Kansai Collective, guys. We appreciate it. Back in the studio. Summertime. Life is good. Lots of things happening here in Japan at current.
Not only the hot weather, right?
Not only the hot weather. Some hot, spicy drama in the land of the rising sun. So, as always, guys, Asa Questenberry here. Join with me, the man, the myth.
Yes, your boy Zane, live in the Kansai.
Live in the Kansai, guys. As well, if you like our content, if you want to support us, see us grow, head on over to our Patreon, and you guys can get involved for some behind-the-scenes content. Yeah. Give us a little bit of a time, and we will turn this into something, I guess, even bigger than what it is. That was
it's already, intro, no. I mean, look at where we came from, though, bro.
Where we came from.
Coming from your crib.
Yes.
To
our lovely studio, hosted by the lovely Morisawa-san of The Deck.
Tomo.
Here in Honmachi, Osaka, Japan. So, yeah, if you guys want to show love, you want to support, you want to see us grow, head over to our Patreon. You can find the link down in the comments below. We would love anything you guys can contribute to show us that, or to see us grow this channel.
Especially because our rent is definitely higher these months because you need the AC for sure. There's no way you're surviving this Japanese
rent,
summer.
Yeah, right. Our rent. Oh no, you're talking about I thought you were talking about studio rent. No. Our physical, our actual rent.
Like the AC and the fan.
Life
there's no way you're surviving without that.
Japan's hot. It's crazy right now. Zane, what's been up, my man? You've been busy. I've been busy. We gotta make some more time to get in the studio. But tell the good folks at home what's up with Hinomaru and Zane.
What's up with Zane? Really, it's just my brand. Yeah, focus on my brand. Got some things in the works coming in August and in September. Okay. I'm setting up for that because I'm looking to create my own income through my own hands. You know what I'm saying? That's the goal as an artist, as a creative.
Becoming a farmer. He's going to till with his own hands.
Nah, man. Just going to keep this fashion thing going.
Fashion, if you guys like it, you want to see some interesting traditional
Hinomaru, JBN.
Yeah, quick shameless plug, but we get moving. So what we want to do, guys, and for everyone at home, as we've been really busy recently, a lot of our videos have had lots of guests, but as you can see, there's no one here next to us. So
not today.
I'm going to take a simple video just to update you on the Japan summer update, because there is a lot, as we said, there's a lot of stuff going on as lately, some global news. So we'll do a quick check-in for what's been going on in JP.
I'm sure the whole world knows, right? But
tell us.
What do you call them? The guy. It's like a
top.
President. Yeah, at the top.
Prime Minister of Japan.
Yes,
former
Prime Minister
of Japan, Shinzo Abe was assassinated by lone gunmen.
Lone gunmen. You sound like a newspaper. That's crazy.
Man, I'm just practicing my deep radio voice for the people at home. So what's interesting is not only do we have lots of things in Kansai, but now we have assassinations going on. So that was
How was your reaction to it? What did, like, when you saw that in the news?
What was interesting is I took a quick trip back to America and
quick trip.
One week in the U.S. See the fam, celebrate my mom's birthday. Love you, Mom. I get off the plane with my little sister into the U.S. or to pick up my sister in the U.S. And I get off, and the first thing on my news, and I had a bunch of messages, was that Abe got assassinated. And I was obviously blown away. And I just remember I'm telling my sister, I'm like, oh my God, the prime minister got blasted. He's definitely dead. At that point they're he's taken to the hospital. I'm like, he's dead. He's 70 years old, got shot. And I'm telling my sister, and she's like, so? And I'm like, what do you mean so? And she's like, well, he's not the current prime minister. And I'm like, yeah, but still. And she just it just totally didn't register. She's like, yeah, I guess whatever. And I'm like, no, so I landed in America, and I didn't get to see the reaction in Japan. I was it was all my internal reaction. The whole time, I wonder what is going on. I was worried that they were going to shut the borders. So I was just praying. I'm like, please don't be a foreigner that killed the guy. That would be the perfect reason for me to get stuck out of the country.
Wow.
Yes, dude, I was worried.
Well, the thing is, I don't really follow politics, but a lot of people, a lot of people really liked Abe. You know what I'm saying?
But a lot of people obviously really don't like Abe as well.
That's true. But like, if you think about it, do you know any other prime ministers of Japan? Like,
his grandfather was stabbed. They tried to kill his granddad as well.
wait, during the same like time.
Well, Abe's grandfather, like Abe is a legacy politician.
Oh, okay.
His family's been in politics for like many generations.
Okay.
His grandfather was prime minister, and his grandfather got like they attempted to assassinate his grandfather, and they were unsuccessful. I don't know if he was. I think it was a stabbing. I don't think they had as wide access to guns at that time. But so he's the first. I mean, probably since we need like a history buff here, but like I mean, in the modern area, nothing even comes close to what happened. So when you were here, what was the reaction like the day of? Because I was in America. People they're like, "Where's Japan?" Right?
Well, definitely people were definitely concerned and like, "Oh, is he?" Everyone was talking about it. If you met somebody, they were definitely, "Oh, did you hear Abe got shot?" And during the time, like they didn't know that he was going to die. They were just saying like he was in critical condition. But yeah, people were very shocked. I was very shocked because it was in Nara.
Right.
And Nada's a very chill, mellow place.
There's more deer than people.
And like, I just wouldn't never think that would happen in Nada out of all places. You know what I'm saying? But that's.
So I think like for Western viewers or like people in the U.S. like to put into scope of this, like because people in America get shot all the time. I mean, no one at the level of like Obama is getting shot and killed, right? And that's essentially what I mean, Abe is at the same exact level of Obama, Trump, all the presidents. But what's crazy in Japan is in 3 years from 2018 to 2021, Japan had like 9 or 10 people were killed by guns. 4 of those or 5 of those were suicide. And like another 3 were like gang related incidents. So in 3 years we've had 10 people get shot, and America's had like 40,000 plus like domestic gun violence deaths.
That is so wild.
So it's like of the 10 people that have been shot, one of them is a prime minister. What was crazy was I was back in America, like Americans were like, "Oh well, why did you only have one security guard?" And I'm like, because they don't have that. He's in Japan. Right. He's not traveling in like, Qatar where there's like a pressing like, security risk. He's in a town full of deer. Like
it's crazy, that it just happened so easily. Like he was
just right on the street.
Yeah, right. He was so easily reached, you know what I'm saying? Like, and it's crazy they caught it on camera and like.
Did they? Well, probably because he was on the campaign trail. Yeah. So he was right now we're in election season in Japan, which is one of the worst times because they just drive around with these like cars with speakers on them and just like blast.
One of the few non-Japanese things that they do.
Yes, but it is. I feel like it is Japanese now because they don't do that other places, at least to my knowledge. But anyway, so there's politicians everywhere. They stand on top of these cars and they preach their message in the street. So Abe was on the campaign trail for someone his party. Guy comes up to him and just that was the end of it. You want to hear a tragic story about it?
What's up?
Abe has had the same security guard for a very, very long time. Like more than 20 years, he's had this same security guard. This man, and to put in context, like Abe was the longest standing prime minister in Japanese history. Prime ministers are normally like 2 or 3 years. Abe was 10 years as prime minister.
Wow, okay.
So this security guard was his main security guard through 10 years, joined him overseas, every journey to like a dangerous place, like had successfully, he had succeeded, right? He had protected this man for decades. And he died in the most peaceful town in Japan. And what I was reading that apparently like the first blast, like the first shot, because it was a double barrel homemade shotgun. The first shot killed Abe.
Oh, really?
I mean, that was the one that did it because the security head jumped in front of the second shot, but only half of it hit him and the other half hit Abe. So I'm just like, man, can you imagine you've protected this man your entire life, and the one place like you think like of all the places you have to worry, deer-filled Nara, that's where you would be unsuccessful in your task. I'm like, that has got to be the most
Yeah.
Like, so my,
and
thoughts and prayers
crazy,
go out to
right.
just
It's
crazy.
just crazy because first of all, everyone's like wearing a mask, right? Too, and you can't see people's faces, and like you said, it's just a peaceful area. And then like, because you could tell in the video, people were like, "Oh my god, like what is going on?"
First of all,
You know
I
what I'm
heard a
saying?
gunshot. When's the last time they ever or ever heard
right,
a gunshot? Right.
So, I, for me, I'm thinking like, yeah, in Japan, you're in Japan, you're in a peaceful place. You hear a gunshot, you don't even probably think it's a gunshot. You might think it's like fireworks or something. You know what I'm
because
saying?
they don't have they're not.
Yeah.
They ain't listening to gunshots all the time, right?
So I just was like, that's crazy. But, like a lot of people brought up the point is like, so Japanese people might say like, because I remember they always used to talk about like guns and stuff and like how America, if you're American, there was like, why do Americans have guns and stuff? You know what I'm saying? But, now there's like some gun violence in Japan. So
Person number 10.
yeah, person number 10. Yeah, small number, but it definitely, I think, helps to get Japanese people to see like Japan is not as, this image as safe as people think it is.
Well, I think this event shook, and I'm not Japanese. We need to get a Japanese person on here to talk about this. But in my opinion, I think it shook a lot of kind of people to their core because, like I said, I'm worried. I'm like, please don't be a foreigner that killed this dude because they're gonna shut the. But why I say that is because a lot of the standard like scapegoats or excuses for problems in Japan, right? Oh no, that happens other places, not here.
Right, exactly.
Oh,
That's
that's foreign people do that, not Japanese people.
Right.
Every one of their normal excuses failed.
Right.
Even in the sense that when something does happen in Japan, they're like, oh, that's like gang related. That's mob, that's yakuza. And every one of those things, like, because those were the original stories or rumors when it was on the news, and then every one got disproven. It turned out it was just an ex-military, a sad ex-military guy built a homemade. They're like, oh, well, he probably imported the gun. It was a homemade weapon.
Right.
Learned how to make it on the internet.
That's crazy.
And so I think for a lot of people, that was like a moment. I was like, whoa, okay, like, we can't blame the normal things we blame. And again, I'm speaking from an outside looking. I mean, I'm in Japanese society in the day to day, but I don't think or act in a Japanese way. So I'm never going to say that this is how all Japanese people view. This is just my humble opinion on what's going on.
I wonder what all the other like Japanese like politicians were thinking when they were going around and doing all those like speeches like, yo, I might be next type of vibe.
Right. I mean, you never. Yeah, it's.
That's scary, bro.
It's crazy times, man. It's crazy times. I think globally, man, we're in a very tumultuous point in human history.
Tumultuous. Wow.
Someone fact check me. I think that's the right word to use in that sentence. Tumultuous. We're getting the okay from the studio. I think it's okay.
Anywho, but
turbulent is maybe what I want to say. Tumultuous. Turbulence probably.
You did great, bro. I'm just
Thanks, brother.
It's so cool you got a great like a newscaster like vibe. I'm just
being me. I don't know if that's a compliment or not.
No, it is.
So, but just to close up the Abe stuff, some things that have come out, which is interesting because the plot thickens, as they say. Because a lot of people are like, why did this man just like the original rumor was like, oh, he just doesn't like Abe. It turns out if you follow the story now, there's a church from Korea that set up in Japan. Abe's grandfather was one of the original like large political supporters of this church. Lots of modern churches have a problem. There's mega churches in America, for example. They're please, donate to the church.
So
right?
crazy.
So
man.
Apparently, the gunman's family, like his father had died of being sick. His brother killed himself, and his mom found her peace and grace in this church, so to speak. And from what people are saying, and again, someone fact check us, please, because we don't know anything. But apparently she had donated more than 1 billion yen, like all of the family's money to this church. That's and the crazy, family had like nothing left. So you have this guy, society has shunned him, his personal family situation has fallen apart, and looking for a way to, find justice in a sense. So originally his plan was apparently to take out the head of the church as well as Abe, because as Abe's grandfather as well, the Abe family was a major donator and supporter of this church. So he vilified them as saying, you're supporting this church, which I view as taking from normal people, so to speak, right? So all of that has shed the light, which has created this, just a crazy situation as a whole. But definitely shook a lot of stuff going on in Japan. Thankfully, though, the country, I was surprised because when I got back, I expected I don't know, something. I don't know what I was expecting, but I expected something, and there was just nothing at all. Just day to day.
Things are going
same
every day, normal life. Besides, we now have Matsuris back.
Moving on to something a bit more pleasant.
Yes.
Matsuris.
How was your experience? What Matsuri did you go to recently, my boy?
I went to Gion Matsuri, which is the largest festival in Japan, held in Kyoto.
Yep, there's one in Kyoto and there's one in Hakata.
Are they both Gion?
Yeah, they're both very
I don't know, the studio's
famous.
giving you some strange looks.
Yeah, because I remember I went
That was a lie,
recently
I'm
to Hakata, and there in Kyoto have some of the biggest festivals.
Where is Hakata?
In Kyushu.
Kyushu.
Yes.
Okay, Kyushu vibes. Nice. Okay. So Gion, yes, I've never, you guys might have seen that earlier episode. I wanted to do the whole festival experience. It was a little different than what I expected.
It was.
I have the romanticized you and the pretty girl walk around in the yukata and eat dango on the shores of the lake and watch fireworks.
That's fire.
None of that happened.
Yeah.
None of that happened.
Well, you did get fly. You got fly.
I got
and some.
up. I got to buy squid on a stick, which was big grilled squid. That was cool. That was very Japanese. But yeah, it was a cluster of people.
More than a cluster, man. That was the most people I've seen in a long time.
Go check out pictures. 2022 Gion Festival Kyoto. Just look at the crowds of people there.
And I think, I went before Corona. I went to a Gion Matsuri, and I don't remember it being that packed. It was very, very packed.
Was it? I wonder. It's got to be just the fact that festivals have been shut down.
Right, for 2 years.
2 years, there's been no festivals. So it's got to be just, we can do a festival now. But I didn't realize it's multiple days.
Yeah, no, it's actually the whole month, but the main parade is that weekend that we went.
Okay, yeah,
15th,
I had
16th,
no idea.
17th.
I saw Zane for a fleeting moment, and then I kind of ran away because it was just too many people.
Too many people.
Yeah, I wanted to get some food, get some drinks.
So you only had the squid and nothing else? Because they have there's a lot of cool stuff at the Matsuris that you usually don't get to eat.
No, I spent $10 for a beer and a stick of squid. That was it.
But it's a vibe, man, because it's super hot outside, right? And then they got all these different foods, festival foods.
Oh, the whole street. I mean, if you've been to ever that area of Kyoto, I mean, the street is miles long, and the whole street is just full of festival stalls along the side of it. Some are redundant. You get a lot of the same stuff over and over. But I think what was crazy is you couldn't even get to those stalls half the time. I mean, you're battling through the crowds and crowds of people. So what do you think?
Yeah.
What did you enjoy about the festival, brother?
I didn't really enjoy myself this time.
Dun.
Dun.
Oh, no. Why did you not enjoy yourself? Can you enlighten the audience, or is that secret?
No, well, it was very packed. Yeah, I would say it's very packed. It wasn't the image that I thought that I thought it was gonna be, but that was my fault.
I had chill time. That's why I didn't hang out with Zane. I got to wear his clothes though, and just
he was garbed up in some Hinomaru.
It was cool, man. It was cool. What I found,
and if you try to go to a restaurant during that time, oh no, it's already full.
You probably need reservations, bro.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, Zane learned that lesson the hard way. For sure.
You don't it's not fun walking around being hungry and hot. Hungry and hot and
hungry,
packed.
hot, and people drunk around you. Yeah, never a good look.
But hey, nothing's perfect. It was the first festival of the year, and there's tons of like festivals right now. And what's cool about this time is like if you're walking around, sometimes you'll see like just a random festival for a certain like community,
little neighborhood. Right?
Yeah, for a little neighborhood, which is really cool. I really want to join one of those. So
what's stopping you?
You need to be in with a community that is going to allow you to join. You know what I'm saying?
When you say join, do you mean like go to it or participate?
Participate.
You and me
definitely.
both. So like these festivals, they get these huge floats. What are they called?
Might be a Danjiri, but don't quote me.
There are these huge wooden like structures. We would say floats in America, you know, right? And they sit inside of them and they drag them.
Yes.
They pull them down the streets. They wear they wear their little short shorts and you know the full on garb, and they drag these things down the street. And I would love to do that.
Yeah, just try.
That would be like a peak of my Japanese experiences, because if you're doing that, like you said, you are involved in that community, right?
Facts.
I heard from someone there, my Japanese friend. They were saying it's like 200 grand plus to sit inside those. Some of the famous ones, yeah. 200 grand US, because those are like lineage floats. Like they've been dragging those floats for like 600 years.
Wow, that's crazy.
So there's person I was like, oh, I said the same thing. I was like, oh, I want to go inside. They're like, do you have lots of money? And I was like, what do you mean? They're like, it's like, you know, 200 man plus to like.
That's an experience though.
That's also a lot of money for an experience.
Yeah.
You can get a lot of experiences for 200 grand US.
That's a fact. I mean, I wouldn't never do that, but if you had the money.
If you had the money to, hey man, I tell you what, if I'm wasting 200 grand riding a float, I'm in a good point in my life, or a downward spiral. Who knows? Tune in later. Tune in 5 years from now. Check out.
Right. There's a lot. Yeah, there's a lot going on, man. 2025, man. Osaka is on the up and up, my boy.
What's crazy right now, like, because we talk about all the time, like, Osaka traditionally is such like a disregarded city in Japan, like especially for Japanese people. Like they don't have like Osaka's it's ugly, and it, you know, and people are like, oh, Osaka-jin are rude, right? But like these days, dude, because I get to, like we talk all the time, I get to see so much of this stuff coming in the plans. Like all you see is cranes on the skyline. All you see is new luxury buildings going up. There's so much investment coming into the city. So as Zane said, it's on the up and up.
Anything else going on in the summer?
I don't know, man. Let's check our news. We've got Assassinations. We've got festivals.
Well, there's another festival in Osaka in August. I think it's Yodogawa something.
River Festival?
Yeah.
Yodogawa?
They have the fireworks, and then they'll
That's
have
what I wanted to go to, was the traditional. Tenma?
Yeah.
Tenma as well? That's where fireworks, right? And it's on. Right. Yeah. So I went to the wrong one. But it was.
No.
What was funny is like I was with a group of Japanese people for the festival in Gion, and like they were so uninterested in the festival. I was like, so guys, what do we do? This is my first festival. And they're like, this. We sit here and drink beer and walk to other places to drink beer, and then we go back and then we go home. And I was like, oh.
I think also Corona played a little role in it. Maybe people didn't want to get so friendly, but
I was chilling. I was dancing through that crowd. The one thing I was saying is like that festival would have been top tier if there was music.
Oh,
There's no music. There's no music. You're just in like I've been like the only time I've been in crowds like that have been music festivals. So like I'm sitting in this crowd and it's just like silent, other than like someone banging on a drum like somewhere in the distance. And I'm like, we should play some dubstep, something to get the crowd.
Some dubstep,
get the crowd moving, something like that would be cool.
Not my taste in music, but everyone's different, right?
Odd taste in music.
I
said it for my laughs. I can't say I'm a dubstep fan.
Yeah, you are a One Piece fan, so that
if you guys,
says a lot.
Not to plug Oda and One Piece, but if you guys are, you should get into One Piece right now. Right now is
like literally the perfect time to jump into the One Piece.
I've converted some people recently. I've gotten some people, and no one has regretted their decision yet.
So it's crazy, guys.
Check it out.
You know, Asa, he's got a haircut. If you guys have been watching videos, you know, you can see when he gets a new haircut. He's got a little beard, underbeard going on.
That'll be the neck beard. the neck beard.
What's your new profession, my boy? Let the people know, man. He's not only running a company that's gonna make helipads for
helipads.
Well, you know what I'm trying to say, for flying cars,
Something like
and making. Doing a podcast, but what else? What else do you do?
I've opened a tiny coffee shop and hookah lounge called Stimulant.
Stimulant.
I have.
That's good though.
That's also a lie, but that's a future plan. Stimulant's a perfect name for a coffee shop and hookah lounge.
That's
Is
really
it not?
cool.
Stimulant. So
let's not change the subject though.
Zane's mad because apparently Zane's got like trauma with like club sponsor people.
Club sponsors.
Not sponsors.
We call those promoters.
I've been asked to promote an event in Osaka, or rather I asked if they were interested in me promoting, and they were like, yeah, please come help and promote. And I was like, all right, cool.
Don't get me wrong, Asa is a monster.
Zane has not been cool with me
being
since.
being very social.
All.
No,
I told Zane, and he hasn't hung out with me in 2 weeks.
That's not why. He went on a trip to America for a week. He got a little vacay.
So we're here with.
How was America, bro?
America was cool, man. I'm very blessed. My favorite hometown bar got turned into like a biker bar, which is not as great as I would have wanted. And I walked in and I was like, well, it's kind of, the crowd's kind of.
What did like
kind of different now?
What were the big changes you see living in Japan and going back to America?
The biggest change, I talked to a bunch of people. The biggest change you can determine the total different lifestyles. You have American culture, which is built around cars, and you have Japanese culture, which is built around public transit. Okay. And the impacts of that on the day-to-day experience are profoundly deep. You like, I had so many people ask me a similar question back home. What's the biggest difference? And I'm like, I walk everywhere in Japan. I ride my bike and I walk everywhere. You can get anywhere you need by the trains. And it's crazy how big of an impact that lifestyle makes when compared to a society where you have to drive everywhere, right? So I was visiting some family. I went to East Coast, and I was back in California and LA and visiting family, and like walking around LA. Oh man, no, thank you. Even my hometown. So that's the biggest one, is just that how you get around, because it impacts so much of, like in Japan, for example, because people walk everywhere, there's foot traffic everywhere. There's stuff along the entire journey. Yeah. Right, but in the U.S., typically there's nothing along there's something at the point you leave and the point you're going to, but in that in between, there's nothing usually, nothing of interest. Yeah,
like I'm sure, like in Japan, we have those vending machines like in the middle of nowhere, just because like it's so hot and people walk a lot. So I know that's one big thing.
Yeah, just the way you get around, man. Huge impact on the day-to-day.
Gas, right? Gas is huge.
Oh my God, I stopped in LA, man. Gas is like $7.30 a gallon. I was like, how do any of you live out here? Like, what? Like, imagine being like, I'm gonna just put $5 in my tank, and like you get less than a gallon.
That's
like,
crazy.
And then what's funny is everyone's like, I blame Biden, and I'm like, you do know that like global price fluctuations are. One person probably can't make an impact, but it's become like a running joke now, where everyone's like, I hate Biden. Biden made our gas prices go up. So
what did you eat, bro? Any good food?
Seafood, bushel of crabs. Okay. Yeah, the East Coast where I'm from is all seafood.
Facts.
Seafood, lots of seafood, good time. But my body got all messed up, because what was interesting about this trip is this is like a really sudden trip, as you know, and like for the last 2.5 years, any travel is planned out like almost 5 months in advance, right? Because you had to, you didn't know if the border was going to be open. You had to get all your checks. You had to quarantine. And this one was just like, spur of the moment, quick trip, which was crazy. But my body, like I'm in America for like 4 days, and I was back to Japan. So as soon as my body was like, oh, we're in America, I was back in Japan. So needless to say, like my sleep schedule and jet lag was like heavy coming back, because there was no adjustment period. But America is interesting right now, I will say. There's, as I said, turbulent times. Tumultuous times. I don't know if that's the right word, but tumultuous. That's the word of the day. We need Johnny in the corner just to tumultuous. Like, just Wikipedia be like, that's not the right word. There's this, stuff's going on all over the world, obviously, as everyone knows.
Well,
we're all
now
in the world, but
it
America,
is. It is summertime for the kids as well in Japan. They only get 1 month off, rather.
I didn't know they got any time off. I thought it was like they get like a week.
Well, it's not because sometimes the kids still go to school because they have like extracurricular activities. But yeah, they have a month. Man, I can't even imagine. I was talking to some Japanese people. They're like, well, what do you guys do in America for over 2 to 3 months when you're on vacation? I'm like, yo, we are outside.
You go to the pool.
Having a lot of fun, you know what I'm saying? Like,
you go swimming, go to the pool, play sports, summer camp. Lots of memories as a little kid. Summer camp. Oh yeah, good summer camp time for sure.
I was a summer camp dude too.
Where summer camp was that's a classic American, like Americana experiences. Like
really?
Summer camp. Because I don't know, like, do you guys have summer camp in Australia? Probably not, because if you guys are out in the woods, something's gonna kill you. Like, there's too many critters out there.
There's definitely like camp activities and stuff,
Okay.
but not ingrained in the culture the same way.
So our producer's saying that they've got some camp stuff in Australia.
Was yours like a community center? Like we had a YMCA.
Yeah. I've done ours. Was that we did one at a high school.
Okay.
There's YMCA ones. We don't have like the image you might have, Aaron, of like us all going to the woods for like. I didn't do that. I went to like a high school and was like just played their high school.
Well, you know what's interesting? Like Japanese like summer camps, there's always learning involved, and I mean like education, like book learning type things. Like
we had learning like crafts.
Exactly. Yeah.
Not like you try to give a kid a book in the summer in America, and they're probably gonna like.
Did you guys get like a book? Summer book, and you had to read it before you go back to school.
Yeah, of course.
Oh,
Summer reading.
Yeah,
summer
right.
Reading. Classic Americana. Yeah, summer reading. So, no, I'm interested because I don't have kids. I'm not around kids in Japan. I know nothing about what a child's life is like. The only thing I know that I want to, when I eventually have a kid, I want to mushitori. I want to do like the bug hunting with my son. To me, that's like I would cry afterwards. I see these dads with like their 4-year-old son. They both got these giant bug nets, and they're like, "Let's get it!" And I that makes me so excited to be a dad.
You know, it's one of the coolest games that they do in Japan in the summer is the suikawari.
The suikawari. I just learned. Zane, teach the folks at home what is suikawari.
You take a big watermelon juice, and mind you, the Japanese watermelon. If you've tasted watermelon in America, Japanese watermelon blows it out the water, man. But you take that big...
I had no idea.
Yeah, it's super good. You take the big watermelon, you put it on a blue tarp, and then you get a stick, and then you put on a blindfold, you know what I'm saying? You spin around 3 times like you about to hit a piñata.
Japanese piñata time.
Yes. And someone guides you to that watermelon, and you smash it.
You just blast this melon. Poor melon.
And when you smash it, then you eat all the goodies inside.
It's kind of...
Do you eat the black seeds, bro?
No.
Why? Because they're black? I just wanted to throw that out there. You see where's that newscaster vibe going?
That's how you get canceled, man.
I'll just get it, bro.
I eat seeds of all colors. No, dude, because they read you stories when you're like a 3-year-old. They're like, don't eat the seeds or a watermelon's going to grow in your stomach. And
did you see the Rugrats episode?
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Fire.
They gotta
that
go
was
inside
super
and
dope.
Yeah, that's how they prevent us from eating seeds.
No. When I came to Japan,
You're a clown.
Yeah, they told me, you can eat the watermelon seeds, and I was eating shrimp sometimes, and I would eat the shrimp tails, but like in America, you never
sharp. They cut your
No, it's actually pretty good. No,
you got strong. Zane's got like horse teeth or something, man. You chews that thing like a camel. No way, dude. You don't eat any of that. Japanese people also they eat like bones in their fish too, which they're like they're like, oh, whatever, you just chew it up. I'm like, no. I remember I was talking to one of my buddies, and they're like, you gotta, they're like, oh yeah, I pull the bones out of my fish, or like they order it at a restaurant, they pull it out, or they just eat it. I'm like, dude, if you ordered salmon from a restaurant in America and it came with fish bones in it, you're likely to get like your whole meal comped or a new piece of salmon. And they're like, so I was like, yeah, man, no way. So Japan apparently, and Zane as well, they chew things a lot better than us.
Is there any like Japanese summer foods that you dig?
Somen.
Somen, right?
Cold noodles.
Nagashi
with wasabi.
somen. Oh my God.
Yeah,
Yes.
Japan's
I
got
love
some
somen.
good. Japan's got good seasonal stuff, which we
Yeah.
talked about before. The you feel the seasons in Japan.
Fact.
This season, what's interesting is like it started off really hot, and now it's not as bad. But now like the rainy season is way late. Well, like because it started like so I have to go do some like projects on solar sites, right? And you can't have any clouds. And it's like we're in a season right now that typically there's no rain or anything in Japan, and like the clients are getting super agitated because they're like, when can you come up? I'm like, do you see a cloud outside? Yes, then I can't be there for that. So the climate change, right? Good old climate change. So where it was hot, now we got a super delayed rainy season, and pretty soon we're gonna be getting some typhoons.
Oh, word.
Kind of end of summer, right? It's typhoon season. We'll see. Hopefully Japan makes it through so that we can bring you guys another episode of the
Kansai Collective. And you guys, don't forget, man, we have that Patreon. Please.
Send some love, send some support.
Send some love, send some support. We want to keep making these dope episodes for y'all. I'm bringing in dope people. And yo, I'm telling y'all, once we get this thing going up, we're gonna we're gonna go out and we're gonna shoot some Osaka,
we got some
Kyoto,
plans.
Nara. We're gonna do it up.
Yep. So what we want to do from here, we want to do exactly as Zane said. We're going to be out in the streets. We want to interview Japanese people, which we think will be really interesting content for you guys, and as well engage with more of our community, which is exactly what our point is here at the Kansai Collective, right? Bring you guys the community of the Kansai, which is, in my opinion, the best part of this area. So, as Zane said, thank you very much, everyone. If you guys like us, show some support, subscribe, tell your friends, share, all that good stuff. Head over to our Patreon, show some love over there for a lot of behind-the-scenes content as well, some Q&As, live studio sessions, live streaming, all that stuff of our day-to-day life here in Japan, and the wonderful studio brought to us by the wonderful Tomo Morisawa and the deck here in Homachi, Japan. As always, Edge Wilderness, Hinomaru, and soon-to-be renamed company. No secrets yet, but lots of sponsors, guys. We'll see you next time. Peace.
Kansai Collective. West side of Japan, we out here coolin', Zane and Nasa got